I hope you're good. It's Friday, I think. It is. It is Friday. That was a nice purple background for a second. Everything was like colorfully aligned. I hope your day was good. I hope you did things that you wanted to do. All of that. And your week was good. As always, we have some news. Very interesting news for today. So, with that in mind, I'm going to see what we can do. I have some questions for Stony, but Stony hasn't answered yet, so I don't know if he will pop up. Please, hi, welcome on in. Thanks a lot for sharing your link earlier. I appreciate that. Highly appreciated. Also, question for you: is it okay if I share that on the stream, or do you want to keep that a secret? Because full name and all that, you know. Because I could show you things potentially. I don't know. Potentially, it's a potential, anyways. Also, you're probably in ads. That's sad. I can show it. Cool. 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 Let me see if that button works. Doesn't seem to. It did. It did work. Kinda. Not really, but kinda. Cool. Let me go straight to that because that would be easier to just start with your portfolio instead. Again, I'm gonna say that while Larkham High. How do you find Paris? Lol. I love this. I like this a lot. The simplicity is really good, and the impactfulness, or your name, what you do, and other content is pretty good. There is, in the discussions that we've had with other designers in the past, the kind of need, it's not a need, but it's a bit of a weird thing where people are recommending to swap that section and that section and to have as soon as possible content, visual content. So I do love this layout, but it might be more appropriate for senior designers. I don't know, Babshi, hi, good day, good afternoon, evening, how are you? All day. So there is a questioning sections in there with that swaps. Just the idea is to have as fast as possible a visual for the viewer to say, oh cool, they do that, and that helps. So like some of the GK, hi, some of the recommendation are also to have like these cards here instead. Is it possible to answer that question by a word that isn't trashy or crowded? Yeah. Not too hot. Today was fine. It was like 20 degrees. That's about it. Also, GK, did you make it? No. You've been lacking lately. So that's a thing, Lise, a potential to reorder things. As you said, you've been working on that for a while, which makes sense because it's portfolios and no one can really create a portfolio and then have the things. The main point and the main thing that I say every time is just release the fucking thing. and then iterate and add some things and remove some things. But the the main stuff, or the thing that you need to do, is release, like publish something as soon as you can. And I feel like you can. Not 3. I do too. Also, bitch, can you not die? Be high appreciated. So I really like the, as I said, the simplicity here, and I really like the grid here. Like these two together bring something that is kind of not new. Stoney's not here right now, GK, so you can't say that. But yeah, kind of fresh. I hate that. Yep. Yeah, you would have like the God damn it. Why don't I have... Why? Why did I do that? Yeah, we'll just use layers. That could have been a thing. Could have been a thing. I know that they have examples here. I just obviously, when I'm looking for something, as always, I can't find the something in question. But yeah, on Hover, you have a bit of a presentation preview of the project, which I get. I think we looked at something in the Brutalist websites last week, which was... I want to say it's this one. I think this is kind of similar, right? The vibes that you have or want it to have, I think. So you share the link. Yeah. Basically, yeah. So this is good, but... I hate saying that, but yes, this is good, but you don't really know, and then some people might not even like see the content. Like sometimes scroll doesn't recognize or isn't picked up as passing hover content. So yeah, it's debatable. I know, but yeah. I don't think it perform as well on portfolio. It's usually for agencies, or at least I'm seeing it more and more for agencies. Not more and more. I've been seeing it more on agencies' website than personal websites. So that's an interesting thing. And so there is this thing where these projects could be visually presented. And for me, you could... I'm gonna see if I can do that. Could. You're not allowed to, but apparently GK decided to do it anyways, so you know. That's a weird section. I feel like there was supposed to be a something here that didn't go through, which is interesting. Anyways. Not that. So there is that as a potential recommendation that people have, which is ensuring that on load of the page, people will have a bit of a glimpse of a project or something that would be like either creeping out at the bottom or something else. So that's an option. I don't know how you would like to have that, but it's the having a visual to help people know what you're doing. Specifically, as I said, on your pictures, like your mockups, the thing that you've used, they are really, really good. And they will 100% help potential clients to like see themselves in themselves in like a oh I'm doing something similar to this or similar to this, or I'm doing an app, or I'm doing something different. And so that kind of is good in my views to help potential clients to just say, yeah, I can see that being something positive. So having a potential again like this with a bit of an overlap or something that would help creeping in could be highly beneficial for you to just say, okay, so I have something underneath you can scroll. You know that you can do that. Otherwise, right now, if I'm just loading the page as just the page, I'm just loading this. And so if I don't scroll at all and I don't touch, which again never happen anymore, but used to happen, but still, if a human doesn't scroll, then you kind of well, I know your name, I know your title and where you are right now, but that's about it. So I would love to know or see like a bit more projects. That would be a better thing. Anyways, that's potential for bringing things in and then having the overall layout being like that. Maybe if you still want it to be a tad bit different, a line right is good. It's an option. But that will help. I think here for me, that's again, that's a very, very personal thing. But I feel like this font is not black enough. Like even ultra black is not black enough for me. I feel you would benefit so much with an impactful font at the top, something that is way heavier than most other people, because right now the current things that I'm seeing is like Lua Studio, which is extremely light and cloudy and all of that. Reviewing portfolio analytics from different people, about 3 to 4 weeks, and have been doing it for years. The biggest common issue between all of them is that the visitor won't click the project cards. It's resulting in high abandonment rates and low interviews landing. Yes, 100%. So I agree with that, GK, which is one of my main issue on my current website as well, that no one clicks the cards. So now when I'm sending my portfolio, I'm sending the case study page directly. And if they want to explore something else, they do. But they usually don't. But they arrive directly on that page. That's the link that they receive. so they have something to scroll through and they are in a project. Otherwise, as you just said, if they arrive here, they will probably not check any of these. So, yeah. Anywho. So, about the font, yes. You don't know which font you want? I know. No one knows. I know I've seen you checked and changed the line height, I think, a tad, and you didn't change the all caps on some pages. You changed it here, which didn't really or doesn't really help for me. So many hours trying to choose a font. This one is Workson, but originally I wanted to use the has products, but it's not free. The thing is, this is not Workson on my side. This is Geist, or at least this top one is Geist. Jerome, hi. Well, come on in. How was you? How was your day? How is everything? I haven't spilled the tea just yet. There's just so much shit happening. GK, you're gonna potentially enjoy the next after that review kind of segment. It's kind of fun. To me, at least, it is. Anyways, Workson is pretty good. Geist is pretty good. Geist is basically Inter, but a tad wider, just a smidge. And it has some ligatures and some other alternate fonts that are pretty good. So, you know, all that. Finding a font is going to be really, yeah. DK, you are going to want to have that for sure. It's going to be pretty interesting. And see, Jerome is already ahead of you, so. That's a thing that I would potentially recommend these in there with having the visuals that you already have above and faster to reach, like easier to visualize, so that people can say, oh cool, I'm currently working on an app, therefore I'm going to showcase that, which goes to my second point in the projects things. You have a lot of desktop and one mobile app. I would personally swap these two in terms of order, just so that the first comer to the website sees I do desktop, I do mobile, I do desktop, whatever. Or maybe if you can have like a secondary app, that would be great, but at least they see desktop, mobile, desktop, something else, which I don't know if you organize them by year. I'm unsure about that, but if that's the case, that's kind of I understand. But still, just for the sake of understanding, oh, that person does everything, and then does everything, and that's pretty useful. So if it's random, yeah, just ensure that the mobile is kind of above. Above is kind of weird, like swapped with the first one on that column, so that it just the people that comes in say, oh cool, they do everything, I can hire them, therefore. Denny, hi, welcome in. And so after that, the rest is pretty good. That layout is really interesting. I don't know if I would personally go with that, but it works, and it's a choice. I feel like my alignment brain is triggered, as in nothing is fucking aligned to anything. But there is like a bit of a structure to it. Like this is half of the width. This is not half of the width. This is 2/3. So it makes sense, but still, it's quite a bit. Nonetheless, I think that's my main stuff for the recommendation for the layout. It's mostly on the first page. You said earlier maybe I should do a one-pager rather than something else. Yes and no. I think you should have your first page, your landing page, to be in your head considered as a one-pager that contains as much content as possible to like hook the viewers, and then have secondary pages with more content if that is necessary, but it's not. So I think for me and for your level of, or your amount of projects right now, which is 6, you could have your 6 project on the homepage and then your description of about you or page like this with a button that sends the user to this section. That could be something. I mean, you don't really have content. That's the thing. Here it's just text. So that's what is kind of discouraging. For some people, I think you could potentially do something along the line of splitting your paragraphs, which right now is going to be kind of weird, but right, I'm doing that. And you get the idea of what I'm doing. Denny, I do hate it, but maybe. I don't know. I don't know how they did some of the changes that I talked about last week. So that, or last week or on Monday, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty much good start. But, you know, so you could do shit like this potentially with playing with like the structure of your blocks while keeping the same width of paragraph. It's not really recommended, but with the rest of your page being that broken into, you could play with that as a potential concept. Or you could also do that as an editorial placement where instead of doing what I just did, you would do something along the line of this. Shit. Which is weird to me, but it could be a thing. Yeah, it's just, I personally don't like that. I think what you had here is a tad more interesting to play with content. Yeah, it is really, the about me is kind of, I don't want to say it's the most complicated one, but it's basically a resume type of situation, and you can have past experience and like for who you did work, but like in a resume format rather than a just text format. But you could also have an editorial format which could display your style and your personality, if that's a thing that you can show or showcase in text, which is kind of like, these are the classic, which have a good hunt for food. Have a good hunt for food, and we'll move on to something different. And then if you come back later, we can come back into that. But yeah, the about me is kind of the more complex one. I think if the rest of the page, the before page, is still good, you should be okay. But yeah, to be checked. Anywho, GK, I saw you lurking. Are you still lurking from far away and not actively here? We have some things to talk about. You're welcome. That's why I'm here. That is why I'm here. We have some tea. We have a lot of tea. God damn it. So much tea. So if you follow me on Twitter, you probably already know that the company that I was applying for, trying to find a job in, all that, said no. The T is that they said no for reasons that makes no sense. Not a single ounce of sense. Reason number one, or not reason number one. Let me go back into the story time of the history of everything. I found a company that is called the Interstellar Lab, which is doing some interesting work of farming, like not in the soil farming, so in containers farming, and their goal is to be able to have a contained environment to be able to grow things in space, right? Pod farmings, without sources farming, all of that. So that's pretty cool as a concept. They have like a pod that they have like a plan of putting one in the moon, and they have like roses and shit grow there because the environment is pretty contained, and it's an like hermetic thing, whatever, I don't know, sealed environment, all that is really cool. And they work with pharmaceutical and drug companies because these pods give you such complex environment possibility, or tweaking is a very good thing for that some pharmaceutical brands have the ability to then like say, oh, we know that this plant specifically produced that molecule that we need for that drug, but the condition of the environment to have that molecule to be produced by that plant needs to be extremely perfect. And when we are like farming that plant, we have like a result or a harvest that is like 20% that is good. And so with your enclosed and controlled environment, we have a harvest that is closer to 99%. So it is a very, very good project. That's I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me take a look. It was pretty good. So I did in there, and first interview, pretty good. Standards, French, all that went pretty well. The guy said, we have other candidates, so I'm gonna go back or come back to you in like 2 days. Basically the next day in the morning, he came back to me saying that it was like extremely positive and he wants to move me in the process. So that thing like touched something in my head saying, well, that was bullshit about the other candidates, because otherwise you wouldn't like you would wait for the other candidates to see first, and then you would move me up, because the interview that we had was like in the afternoon. And so for them to have been, or to have had the ability to see so many other candidates at that same time, and then give me an answer would have been like kind of a lot. Let's say that. Anyways, I move on to the next step with two other people. It was pretty interesting. They kind of liked me apparently, and they said the same thing. We have like to see other people, whatever. We're gonna give you an answer soon. It can take some time. The same day in the evening, I had an answer. So same thing in my head, saying that they really don't have other people that have applied to that position. And then they move me to another stage again, like third stage, with someone that had no time. So we had like a 20 minutes call where it was pretty interesting. The guy in question was really cool. We had like experience in common, like he was an architect, like building architect in the past, and me being a mechanical engineer in the past. We have something that we understand and we can talk to each other about, whatever. So that was pretty cool. So that's so far 1, 2, 3 interviews, really positive. They move me fast every time into the next step. And then the next step from this guy, the last one, was we want you to come to the office so that you can see how the pods work, how the office is, meet a bit of the team, and all of that. I might wait for the ads. I might wait for the ads so that I can cut that later. But yeah, so far so good. It's just like 3.5 interviews, plus the emails and all that just went really overall really good. And that last one just was like, yeah, come in the office. Let's see how the team reacts to you, how you react to the team, which is usually like the last interview type of situation. So I was kind of confident in at this point. So we'll see. 1 second. Yeah, no, for me too. I do agree with that. I don't like processes that have too many interviews, and we talked about that extensively on stream in the past, where my personal take on interviews and hiring is really different than most people apparently. Specifically for French people, I'm like, we have something that is the probation period. So someone seems interesting, hire them, see how they work for like 3 months, and then you get. So, Anywho, so that last guy said, come to the office, see all that, and I said yes, which was my first kind of bad taste in my experience with them, mainly because they are located really far away from where I live, and I don't really use the public transport in France. I usually move by feet, walking. So I still went there. It took me like 45 minutes to go and then 45 minutes to come back. So that's a lot of like commute, which I don't really like, and I try to avoid as much as I can, but whatever. The meeting in person in the office was pretty good. I met with most of the people that were interesting, the technical people that are building the pods and the technical people that are building the apps on which I would have been working on. So that's pretty positive as well. I asked for a lot of money because they are requesting me to do the job of 3 people again, and they are in a startup mode. So I was like, yeah, I have 18 years of experience. You need to put me at like 70K-ish, which is up-ish for France, but it depends. For these types of company, it is up-ish. And so that went pretty well. The next stage was to see the big boss of the company. And in the explanation that they had given me in the first or second interview of the process, that would have been the last interview. So that one was a 15-minute interview, not in person, obviously, but just come in the Google Meet and have a chat. She was 7 minutes late already to a 15-minute interview, and kind of left at the 15-minute mark if she had been here on time. So not 15, but like 17-minute marks. So the first impression from me from the boss, not really good. And then I was expecting to either have like a positive or negative answer and then move on and say like they make an offer or they don't. But no, the message they sent me was, we need you to see someone else. So I thought it wasn't the case, but that happens. So what happened was their new CTO got hired before, entered the enterprise on Monday, this Monday, and had to see me on Tuesday for 15-minute calls. So the guy in question doesn't really understand everything about the company, doesn't understand how the team works, but is hired as the CTO, therefore need to check for technical role like mine, which I understand. That makes sense. Whatever. During that interview, the guy asked, I have a question about your resume because it doesn't look like a designer resume. How much design process or design thinking went into that? I was like, none. It's an ATS friendly resume. It's made to be read by robots and AI to make sure that I pass the screenings. That's it. And he said, okay, cool. And I said, because the designed resume that I used to have just didn't pass the ATS screening. So therefore I moved on to something else and say, okay, cool. Automatic text screening, I think, or something like this. I forgot. It's basically like an AI that just scrap or read the entirety of the text on a document and then compile things. So you give it some pointers. Applicant tracking system. That's better. Yes. It just look inside of your resume if there is like some keywords that they are looking for. If there is like the roles that you have had in previous companies, if you have been titled senior designer for 3 years, then you are probably a senior designer. But if you have been senior designer for like one of your roles and it is the last one, then you might not really be a senior designer. That's a thing that they have. But also they have like criteria and thing that needs to be written in your resume, as in numbers and or other things. Anywho, during that meeting, that guy that was like pressing on the fact that my resume wasn't really a designer resume, it kind of looked like, because it was the end of the call, kind of looked like he understood and almost let it go. I don't know. but that ended the call and all was good. I was in my Japanese class yesterday, and the HR manager called me and left a message saying, we have some news and I would love to have you like live calling you. I don't want to send you an email or just leave a voicemail for that. So call me back when you can, which in my head sound exactly as, we're not going to move forward, but I still want to give you some feedbacks on what happened. So I was right. And I called him back when I came back here, and he said immediately, we're not going to move forward because the first 4 interviews and meetings were great, but the last 2 were really bad for some reason. And I said, oh, okay, why? like, can you give me some feedback? And he said, well, there is something that came back up, that was that your resume was poorly designed. Okay. And during the call with the boss, it seemed she had the feeling that you were too confident in your ability, and you saw yourself as the saviors of the company, in terms of, I'm gonna come in, change everything, and take off. Like, okay, I don't know how she could have perceived that in like 10 minutes, but fine, if that's how she perceived the thing. But just the too confident in his ability was really weird to me, because that tells me she doesn't want someone that is confident in their ability to help in any way, and making sure that the company that they are joining is gonna succeed. So I don't know how that can be a thing. No, it was like something along the line of humility. I think that's what he said. Like, more, a bit more humility on my side, but I don't really know how, since she only asked 2 questions and I just sent her links. Like, she said, can I see things that you've done in the past? And I was like, yes, you should have, because the HR manager has it. The other 2 people that I've seen before has them as well. And you're supposed to be the big boss, so you should have them. I didn't say that, but like in my head, that's what happened. So I just sent them back the links. And I don't even think she clicked on them. So that's a thing. GK, you just missed the entire tea. And yeah, that's, I don't know. It's really, really weird for me to have someone say, the most negative thing in that 15-minute call that we've had is the fact that your resume was badly designed. And and the second negative thing that we have is you seem too confident in your ability to do your job. Like, how the fuck? That's the recap, GK. And yes, Jerome, that tells me as well that they don't have the ability to do their job either, and they don't know what they are looking for either. So for me, it's pretty good, because that company, it was really far away from me, and so I can't do that. But yeah, it's weird. It is weird. I don't think I would, because she's like, also there has been like some internal red flag in some of the HR meeting that I had before, like when I was in person. The guy that I met was pretty cool, but he talked about the CEO in like pedestal type of thing. She wants to be her, this like the person that discovers the entirety of the molecules available on the planet, and she wants to find the meaning of life. And I'm like, okay, fine. But also, he said, because it's a space-related circle, right? They want to do things in space. She is in the intimate circles with like Elon Musk and NASA and SpaceX and all of that. And the fact that he said that she met Elon Musk multiple times, I'm like, yeah, that's not a positive thing to say. It used to be, but not anymore. And if you are in the personal circle of like Musk and the others, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I trust you much. So I don't know. So it was a weird thing. It was a weird thing. And so at the end of the day, the like basically an hour later, I just reopened Figma and looked at my designer resume, and I just exported it and sent it back to the HR guy and said, thank you for your time during the interviews and all of these things, during all of the process, blah, blah, blah. Just in case, if that's interest that other guy, here is my design resume with quotes, in case he's interested. And then I said, have a good rest of your day. And I didn't have a reply to that. That's pretty good. Yeah. I don't know. It's really, really a weird thing for me to, for that guy to say in the call, I don't have any design skills. Like, I know nothing in terms of design, but your resume is weird. And then most of the other thing that I've seen, like Lamia on Twitter has replied and saying a resume is just supposed to be data about your past so that people can just judge what you've done. And that makes sense. So I just did that on the side. Let me see if I have that. This is my current, this is the resume that they have received. Tech support, hi, welcome in. That's the design that they have received, which is basically just a template from Google Doc. It's at the top, there is resume, you click on it, you have that. That's about it. So it is bad, but it works. And the only design things is the font is not a pure sans serif font, and there is a bit of red. That's about it. But to me, it's not like a it's not that, because that's the US related resume type of thing, like that. That's what we're used to see, which is basically what I have, because it's just Alan, hi, and probably, yeah. So that's what they have received. And so my designer resume is this, which is designed because it has 2 columns and it has like my logo on the background. But that's it. And I doubt that makes any difference, personally speaking, when I'm looking at things. The thing is, I can't send that next time, because when I'm sending that through an ATS screener, for some fucking reason, it comes out pure white. Like, it's pure white. There is nothing on the page. The text is still there. If you highlight things with your like pointer, it still highlights as if there was text, but it doesn't show up anything, which is really weird. And then I tried another version, and now I can showcase the background, or without the background there is the text that is showcasing, which is really weird. So yeah, and then also because these are auto layout frames and blocks of text that are not supposed to be like these ones, I have combined them together. It's not the logo messing with it. I tried multiple things. Like, I've been since yesterday basically trying to find a way to make this thing ATS friendly, but it's not. It's the structure that has blocks of text with different fonts and different styles that just, for some reason, compete with each other. And when I'm converting a PDF, because exporting that as a PDF is fine, but when I'm converting the PDF into a doc, because that's how the ATS work, and then importing it into Google Docs, each of these things, it's as if, or technically what happens is that like the entirety of these things are just stacked on top of each other, and even like it's so weird. And I don't understand. I don't get it. So, you know, that's fun. Yeah. Yeah, GK. That's the same thing for me. It's the reason why I have been using that format, because it basically is that, even though it's not, but it's basically is that. So one of my ATS tracking things have said remove the additional courses because of my experience level. I shouldn't have courses, and I shouldn't really have education. Like, education should be an afterthought, and skills and past experiences is more important. So on some of the versions that I've done, I moved the language and skills to the other side and removed the additional course, and that put me up in the ATS scoring. But goddamn, is it fucking annoying? I think it's not the color. I think it's the font. Personally, I think it's a combination of everything. It's the red that is not to the taste of most people, and also the fact that the font is not a sans serif font, and it's more like a dev-oriented font. They have a bit of a hard time with that. But yeah, I haven't written an actual resume in the last 15 years. If recruiters want, I just say go check my LinkedIn. Yeah, I wish I could say that. I could also export the data from LinkedIn as a resume, like export LinkedIn profile and be good with that. The thing is, in some places, I need to apply with a PDF resume. I can't just apply with LinkedIn. So that's the thing. And Alan, also for the color things, I feel like if it's different enough from the rest of the pile, it kind of stands out. So that's kind of why I go with these weird ass color. I usually go for pink or green, and this one is a reddish pink. Monospace fonts are great for numbers, which is basically what I use on the newer version of my resume. It kind of works well, but also it doesn't. It's yeah, a bit of a mess. So all of that to say, I don't understand how someone that says that they don't have any design knowledge and skills can say something negative about the design of a resume, not the design of the rest of the thing that the designer has done, and just get stuck on the fact that the resume was poorly designed. Like again, the thing in the discussion, in the 15 minutes I had with that person, he said specifically, when we talked about my resume, that he was surprised because the rest of my website and projects and things that I shared are extremely polished and detailed and great and all of that, but the resume is just not. And I'm like, yes, it's an ATS friendly resume. What don't you understand in that? And the fact that that was one of the core feedback, negative feedback, and the reason for which they said no, we're not going to move forward is kind of really weird to me. And then the other one, like the fact that they just said you seems too confident in your ability. Um, it's just, oh yeah, you've seen everything. He saw my website, he saw exactly this this link. He saw, I think he saw this link as well, which is the other one with mobile. He saw the Twitch page and the Figma page, which is all the thing that I've done. He's seen everything, but just decided to get stuck on the resume thing. Maybe I don't think so, but maybe it's the feeling that she had. The specific words that the HR person said was, she had a feeling that you were behaving as if you were the savior of the company, and you would you know exactly what you would need to do in the job that you were about or you were applying for. But in her mind, it's a very, very complex environment. And so no one can be confident in their ability to find a solution. Like, it's just weird. Yeah, Jerome, I think that might be the case. Or the other option being I was way too expensive for them. Yeah, text, they saw everything. They saw the Figma link as well. Or at least they should have. So, yeah. Yeah, Jerome, that's my point. I don't understand how you don't want someone that has a potential idea already of a solution for your problem in the head. I don't know. Yes, GK, I also agree with that, 100%. I also think the fact that it was like an on this type of situation, and then technically I am better than everyone when it comes to Zoom call for interviews. Like, there is no questioning that. The fact that I have that camera, that mic, that setup. When you enter in a meeting with me, you are not in the regular interview process. You have something different. It's a different type of experience for the other person, which is basically a string, which is the point. So I can see that as a bit of a cocky-ish, better than you feel that she could have had, even though when she saw that, she said, I love it. I don't know. Very French. All of that, very French. Yeah. I mean, I think I said I showcased that almost every time, but, you know, we can't do that. We can't do that. Not an option. Yeah. I think they just, like, to me, what I'm seeing is there is two options. Either we went too far in the process and they needed like a reason to say no. And so, because they couldn't say, oh, that person is too expensive, we need to find a secondary like reason. And so they got stuck on my resume is not a designer resume, which is weird. And then it seemed cocky or confident or whatever. So I don't know. The other thing that I was or about to talk about earlier is that they currently have 50 to 60 job opening listed on their website, on LinkedIn, on other platforms. Like they are highly recruiting for expanding the team really fast. And they already have expanded the team really fast. And so they do have money in a way. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I see. So and then you should do that. You should do that. That would work. That would be really fun to see though. In a meeting to turn into something else. Would love to have that. Anywho. So that's the first T. That's the biggest T that we have so far. Like that's I don't. Yes, Linear is a hiring designer. I applied to that 2 times, and most of the time it's oh, you're not in the right time zone, or we appreciate your effort to apply or whatever, and then bullshit answer. So yeah, now I could reapply. The thing is, that's also very Japanese things for me. We have some sort of a rule in Japan where we don't apply to a job again if we applied to it in the past 3 to 6 months. So we want to let some time pass before we reapply to a position. And so that is also something that I kind of do because I don't want to be rejected and then reapply the next day or the next month. That makes no sense to me. I could. Technically, that's not really an issue, specifically if I change like my resume or I change my portfolio or I change something that could convert better. But yeah, I forgot who said that, but someone said that they don't apply to job opening, they apply to company directly. And that seemed to be a potential thing, like just your company seems interesting. If you're looking for a designer, here is my resume. And they said that they do that every 3 to 6 months. I forgot exactly who said that. And that could be a method of working. I don't know. Alan, I used to have Snapcam on stream, but now it's not working. Now it's just a fucking Chrome extension. You know that? It still exists. Snapcam is still a thing. It's just a Chrome extension and not a native app, so we can't use it on OBS. So we are hoping that people with skills, which is not me, are gonna bring back a Snapcam OBS widget plugin type of thing so that we can have, again, Snapcam directly on OBS. That would be great. Would be so good. We'll see. We will see. I still have Snapcam. It's still on my Mac. It still works. Still all that. But no, not my intention at all. Yeah, I did kind of the same thing in my previous company, but also, I mean, I stayed 6 years in my previous company, and now I've been officially out of a job or a company and job for a year. It's annoying. I just, I just don't want to. I don't want to work. If all of you were giving me like €1 per month, I'd be fine. All subs, like if you needed, if any followers was like, if you want to follow, you need to pay $1. Just to follow, you pay $1 per month. I'm good with that. Which again is basically what YouTube is doing, with giving the ability to the creator to put the sub prices for the tier, and like I think the lower one is 99 cents, so $1. Something has been moderated on your end, GK. I don't see that. Yeah. I mean, if you move around in the company, that's pretty good. You said a bad word? When? Where? I haven't seen any. What is the word that you said that you think was the bad word? Because I can't even see that on my side of things. It might not be that, because we don't really have, I mean, I was about to say we don't really have, oh, dang. Yeah. No, it's the fuck you French that they don't want, that Twitch doesn't like for some reason. I don't get it. I say that every day. It is. In here, it should be. The thing is, I've been auto-moded as well on other platforms when I say fucking French. Like, I say I am fucking French, and then fucking French is just not an allowed term. So, you know. Ended up not working. Anywho, so that's what tea number 1. Are you ready for tea number 2? God damn it. So much tea. I'm also like kind of stalling until Stony pops up, because he's been sleeping, came back and sleeps. Yeah. I'm not saying that, but yeah. Like that guy, that last guy, and then I move on because I need to move on, but that last guy that was stuck on my CV design, sent me an email in English with a, as I said on Monday, sent me an email in English with a name that is really French. So I was kind of unsure, but I still replied in English because we never know. Maybe that's a Canadian that just speak English, and that's fine. And then during the call, to which he was not late, so I was impressed with that. I can't lie there. He was there early, like about a minute and a half early on the meeting link. So impressed with that for a French person. Therefore, we started the call. He started to speak in English, and so I directly said, in English, I said, "It seems you're French, so we can speak French." He was like, "Ah, okay." That's an option. I didn't know. So yeah, that happens. Anywho, moving on. Second T. T number 2. T number 2 is last night. I don't know how my brain works and why my brain works like this, but that happened. Last night I was scrolling through my Instagram Reels feed thingy, and there was an ad. You know where that's going. There was an ad for something, and then I clicked the link, and I created an account, and I bought something. So starting, I think, next week, mid next week, I'm changing my internet provider and my phone provider, and we'll see if the stream are dying because the connection is shit or not. But I will save money. Basically, the entirety of what I'm paying right now, I'm paying $50 for internet and $25 for my phone per month. And now I'm about to pay $38 for the entirety of the thing. So 9 or 8 something for my phone, and 20 something, half the price for my internet, with on paper seemingly the same amount of gigabytes speed, or that almost kinda. And my phone, more gigs, internet gigs available, data available. So that it's gonna be pretty interesting. Though it's one of the companies I don't like. In France, we have like technically 4 companies that are doing phone providing and internet providing. We have the orange one, we have the red one, we have the blue one, and we have the other white and red one. And I'm currently on the red one, the usual red one, and I'm moving to the blue one. That doesn't tell you anything, but for those who know, you know. So I don't really like them, but we used to be on them in the past, and now I'm just coming back. So you know, that is kind of sad, but also kind of good. You know, that's yeah, that's a debatable things. Just then he just hijacked their home and just swap flat. Swap flat. That's how we do it. Contra is pretty good also. Vasquez, hi, welcome on in. How have you been? It's been a while. I found most of my contractor on Contra. So when I need like a designer, when I don't have the time to do anything, and I would rather have someone else work for me on something, I use Contra for that. And usually it works pretty well. So it depends. Contra is pretty good. They don't really take a lot of fees, which is nice. But they changed their behavior right after my last my last contract with a designer there, and now I don't trust them as someone who is looking for a contractor. Someone who is a contractor, it's kind of okay. But the fact that I have seen both sides, I don't really know. Basically, the reason why I don't like it now is because as a hiring person looking for a designer, you post a listing, something that you want to be done, and then Contra is gonna hand pick. That's what they say. I doubt it, but hand pick 5 to 10 potential candidates that seems to be pretty good for what you have written in the job description. So the candidates could and can apply to a job, but the likelihood of the hiring person seeing that application is kind of small, because it's officially a contract person saying that candidate seems pretty good, so I'm going to push it to the hiring person, or that candidate doesn't seem pretty good, so I'm not going to push it to the hiring person. So if you are like me as a candidate and I'm just saying you're looking for a designer and I'm a designer, just hire me, they are not going to push my profile through, whereas they used to. So I don't like that. But if you formulate why you want to apply for their position and you are the best fit for that hiring person, then I think it should be good. Fair point. I do talk too much. That's the job of the streamer. And text, yeah. I don't really know about India's internet. But yeah, unlimited 5G for 3 to 4 euros is pretty good. And so now I'm supposed to receive the router and everything this week or next week. Though there is supposed to be a technician that comes in and install it, but what they need to do is just take the cable from the old one, plug it into the new one, and wait. So I don't know why they have like technician coming in and doing that, but I understand for some types of people that might not be a straightforward action to perform. I don't get it. I don't get it. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. So potentially, maybe there will be no stream next week if the internet is not working entirely, and knowing French internet provider, there is a potential of that happening. So just keep that in mind. There might be a bit of a delay on things, and we're gonna check. Gonna check and hope. Yes, Denny, it is. Basically what you need to do to avoid the dump in energy and the lack of focus, and therefore the second coffee at 1. Kane, hi, welcome in. Welcome back. What you do is you don't drink coffee directly in the morning, and preferably you have like an hour of light activity prior to, good job, prior to having your coffee. So your schedule is not no coffee in the morning. It's just like you wake up and then you do your either breakfast or whatever, but without your coffee, and then you go into the outside to get some sunlight, because that's the best thing, and maybe like it's a 15-minute walks outside in the morning, and then you come back and you get your coffee after 1 hour of like awakeness. So yeah, kinda. Welcome back. Kinda that person. Kane, I'm sorry about that. Is it still going down? I don't know if it's the Huberman methods really, but probably, because you both are saying that. But yeah, the idea is to not have the caffeine blocks your sleepiness receptors, because your sleep receptors or your tiredness receptors are plugged in with things that happen during the night, and so then they are flushed in the first hour of activity, and so there is no conflict and it kind of works better. So that way you don't really have the dump of energy. Basically this is lemon water. Like this is lemon juice and water all day. But also the caffeine that I have, I'm not a coffee drinker, I'm a caffeine drinker when it comes to Monsters and other energy drinks. So it is caffeine, but it's compounded with other things that are not that good. It doesn't give me energy or anything, ever. It has never worked as expected or as advertised. So yeah. I mean, I was discussing with Kat yesterday, and she was taking a Monster at 7 p.m., which is basically now, before the gym, which is weird to me, but you know, that happened. So yeah. Do you drink coffee, Denny? I mean, I guess you do, because you're asking the question, but that's a question that I could ask to people that drink coffee. Do you really see something happening? Like, I know that some people say that there is like a bit of an instant response, other than the fact that I need to take a shit after the first sip of my energy drink, because that's how it goes. You know. A pain with raisin is really interesting. Thanks. Depends on the raisin. If it's expensive raisin, maybe yes. So yeah. So that was tea number 2. I'm changing my ISP and I'm changing my phone provider, and we'll see if that works and if that kills the stream or not. If we have like a better overall experience, that would be good. If it's not the case, that will be the same. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll see about that. Tea number 3. God damn. It's not really tea at this point. I am in Paris, yes. I'm in the center of Paris. I mean, I used to be more in the center of Paris than now, but I'm in the center of Paris. And now I'm in the technical center of Paris, and before I was in the physical center of Paris. Differences. As soon as you wake up, laser focus from the get-go, especially since I like to wake up very early in the morning. I get rid of the waking sensation and tiredness. And start focusing on work right after breakfast. I see. Well, maybe attempt a delayed coffee, if you can. Like, small breakfast, short walk, 30 minutes, and then you get coffee. But yeah. Well, Larkham is currently in the direction of Lyon. Officially stopped in Paris and then goes back to Lyon tomorrow. So, similar. Paris is... this is when the Japan FOMO comes out. Let me tell you something. I lived for a long amount of time of my teenage years-ish in the south of France. And so there, the activities of shops and things are really limited. They open at 10:30 and they close at 7. And sometimes a restaurant that you want to go to is going to close at 8. So if you come off work at 6 and the restaurant is like 30 minutes, 40 minutes out, you're going to arrive basically with no time, so an hour to be able to be there. But everyone is doing the same thing, so you arrive in places and everything is packed and you can't do shit. So that's the south of France. And when I moved from the south of France to Paris, we had more, like, basically more time. So here they open at like 8:30 and they close at like 23 or midnight sometimes, maybe 2 in the morning. It depends on the restaurant, but that, right? There is more livelihood, live things happening around here than in the south of France. And then I went to Japan for a year. And now I came back, and for me, everything is closed all the time now. It's crazy. The difference is really crazy. Like, right now, if I want to go somewhere, like my favorite burger shop just opened 20 minutes ago. They open at 7:30 in the evening, and then they close at 22. But like, you are supposed to end work at 5 or 5:30 or 6 in France. So if they opened at 6, that would make sense. But no, they open at 7:30. So even though they are my favorite burger shop, there is a lot of times where I'm like, I want a burger, and I go there and they are closed, and they open in like 45 minutes, and I just want to eat something before stream, for example, which is like in between 6 and 6:30, and nothing is open. So yeah, that's kind of weird. But also, again, in Japan, which is not all good and all great, example number 2, there are shops in Japan that close at 7:30, and that I don't get. They open at 10, but they do 10 to 7:30, and that's it. Not 8. Like, 7:30 they close, meaning that at 7 they stop taking orders, and they are trying, or not trying, but they are cleaning up the place, which is weird. 7:30. Anyways, getting really bad at around 12:30. I just want to take a nap at this point. Yeah. Denny, I'm gonna say something weird. That you're probably not gonna do that, but we never know. Attempt. I know it's hard. 1 week with no coffee. I know. No caffeine, nothing. Replace that with water with lemon juice inside. Like buy a bottle of lemon juice, like pure lemon juice, no sugar, nothing, and water, and just drink that during the day. And the first day is gonna be kind of shit. The second day is gonna be a fat ass headache. The third day is gonna be better, and the fourth day is gonna be potentially good. And you might see something in the. No, Polko is way too sweet. But you might see like a better like reactivity to no coffee and being just on water. That might be a thing. Though the people that have tried that have said that it's really hard and it's not the greatest. But the positive thing is that after 2 weeks or 3 weeks of no coffee, the first coffee after that is amazing. So if you like coffee, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a thing. Yeah, text. Yeah, yeah. Some places just open at like 11, and that makes no sense to me. In here. And that link is weird. I have never seen that. This is vitamin C type of things, right? Which is basically just electrolytes and other things, right? That's the ID, I think. Meh. Why not? Yeah, I do the same thing, Tex, for Red Bulls and Monsters and other things. It's just like, yeah. But the again, and I say that in the past, but I don't have any effects from Red Bull and Monsters and C4 and other energy drink. It's just I like sugar, and I like to drink something that doesn't taste like water. So when my doctor said you should just move into like lemon water, that's it. That's pretty good. Like, it doesn't taste like water. It doesn't taste like a Monster for sure. But it just tastes better than nothing, and I do like that. I like that better. I don't see it that hard of a thing to do. I expect very poor focus and lack of drive in the morning. Really had quit coffee. Could happen. Cool. Well, try it. Maybe try again. I don't know. B6 and B12. Yeah, it's just an electrolyte type of drink. Like, it's basically AG1 or what's the other one? But it's these supplement type of situation, which I know. I tried some of them, but they are not. Again, they don't do anything for me. I don't know. My brain doesn't react to them. Yeah, Jerome, that sounds pretty good. I wish I could potentially do that, but like right now, I can't. Right now, I can't. Though, T number 3, because I didn't say T number 3 again, or still haven't, whatever. This week, because I knew that I wouldn't have like a response from that job, I decided to move on to Japanese classes, and so I took Japanese classes 2 hours a day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so 3 days in a row, 2 hours a day, learning Japanese with a professor one-on-one. That was pretty cool. And because now I know that I don't have a job, perfect, I am now moving into a fully Japanese learning with that like entity things. I don't know how to call that. building company thing. So I'm gonna be in full 2 to 3 times a week classes there, and I wish I was text. That's the plan. The thing is, all of the jobs that I'm finding, they require me to have a very specific Japanese level that I don't have. So I need to have some sort of a certification that proves that I have the level. And if I have the N2 or N1, N1 is going to be kind of complicated to get in the small amount of time that I have. But overall, that is the end goal for me. Like if I get that N2 certification and I can prove that I have that level, or my professor has a letter that says that I have that level, then all of the jobs that I have missed in Japan and I was qualified for, there is a higher possibility for me to just be accepted. So that's a pretty good thing. So I'm going to move into that for next week and trying to do my best to learn as fast as I can, as much as I can, as well as I can, which is not necessarily good, but we're going to see if that works. I'm currently at N4-ish level when it comes to reading. I'm at N3 when it comes to speaking. So that let's hope that I can. I don't know. We'll see if that's an option. But that's gonna be my full dedication now. I think I'm not gonna necessarily look for a job anymore. I think I'm fed up with that. If I have like something and they seems interesting, I might just apply for the sake of it. But I think I'm done. I think I'm done with the job search right now. So I'm gonna attempt that. And thing is, I'm trying to look into some of the programs in between France and Japan that allow people to go in Japan and work there. So for example, there is the JET program, which I don't like for what it represents for foreigners, but it's also a way to get back there for me. So that could be an option. The JET program, if you don't know, is the Japan whatever teaching program. So it's basically having someone that is a foreigner that comes and teach a language or teach something specifically. Usually it's like English or French for me, or other languages in schools. The limitation is that every fucking foreigner that lives in Japan comes in with the JET programs, and I kind of don't like that as a connotation on myself, even though I don't really give a shit, but still, the pay is kind of shit. That's sad. But that's an option. And then the option number 2 is going to be to find some sort of a school that doesn't require me to have like 60k in my bank account for the year. So that's going to be kind of complicated as well, because what costs the most is the rent for me, technically. Like if I move back to Japan, I will put this flat into, like, I will rent this flat for sure. So that will be a bit of an income, but not enough of an income to be interesting. And yeah, we're gonna see. But that's the plan, at least for now. As long as I don't have like the greatest option, yeah. I am quitting job search and focusing on Japanese learning, because if I unlock the N2 level, I'm basically unlocking the entirety of my potential positions that I missed or lost in Japan because I couldn't speak and read Japanese as good as they expected me to be able to. So there is plenty of positions that I had like really, really, really good skills and great fit for the companies, for the candidates, for all of that. Because my Japanese was not good, they said no. That's the main point. So if I can just unlock that thing, I can then just reapply and say, now that I have that certification, yeah. Oh yeah, I would, because knowing how much or how fast I learn, as you said, speaking, that would have helped. The thing is, it's reading that is the most complicated thing. Writing, because you write on your computer or you write on your phone, it's kind of simple. Like, it's not really an issue. If you need to write on paper, that's going to be kind of more complicated. But if you just need to write an email, write a text or something, that's kind of the thing. Serene Oasis. Hi, welcome in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Thanks a lot for your first message. What's the game plan to learn? To learn Japanese? Right now it's to learn with my teachers, but also the game plan is going to be in like as much interactions with Japanese people, either in speaking or in chatting, like online. Like, I'm on a ton of dating apps, on Japanese dating apps, because my phone is in Japanese Apple Store, so I have access to all of that. And so I'm just chatting on text, and it's kind of bad Japanese, but it's also pretty okay for me. I lived in Japan. I lived in Japan last year, so that helped as well. I've been just doing basic shitty Duolingo for 5 years now, every day, which is great. Like, it's not good as a platform. It doesn't teach me much things that are really useful, because it's just sentences that I will probably never use. Though, the thing is, the repetition is just working for my brain. So yeah. But that's what I did. That's what I did. The main issue that I have is housing. Housing in Japan is really complicated when you're not in like Tokyo. So for foreigners. So for me, as a foreigner, I stayed mostly in Tokyo, and that was kind of my main mistake, I would say, because most people there are like used to see foreigners, and so they have like a bit of a little amount of English that they can spit out from time to time. So I didn't learn much, but yeah, that's the game plan right now. It's just like getting into the immersion period here in France for I think the next 3 months, probably, are gonna be that, and then reapply to Japanese jobs and see how that works, because that's gonna be easier, I feel like. We basically moved through N5, N4 in like a month and a half with that teacher. So, and now it's pretty good. But again, I was kind of splitting my energy into either finding a job here or learning Japanese, and I was kind of torn into which one the fuck do I do. But now that I got rejected with that job that was the most promising of all, I'm like, yeah, no, fuck it. I don't want to. I didn't want to find a job in France in the first place, but now this one is like the one that just threw me off. So now focus on all the things I've been doing these for the past few days, which are really bad, but it's pretty useful to have like the squares and all of that to ensure that I know where things are supposed to go. The thing that I hate about that is that I'm seeing the kanji itself, and I know this one, for example, I know what it is, but I'm just seeing that, and then if I don't really know which lines go in which order, I'm gonna refer to this. So there is the readings on both sides that I'm not really reading most of the time. I just know the main pronunciation of that kanji, which is this one is naka, for example, which means inside or the center of something, and it has different pronunciation that I absolutely don't know about, which is kind of bad. So yeah, do I need to be able to speak? I already speak Japanese. So basically my courses or my lessons in Japanese in France are 90% of them are we are chatting in Japanese. Like we are exchanging in Japanese. She's speaking Japanese, I'm responding in Japanese, and then sometimes I'm responding in Japanese to a certain word, and I'm like, how do you say that? And she said, you say that this way, and then I just say that in Japanese, and then we continue chatting. So that is already pretty good. The main issue that I have is that I don't have any grammar structure understanding, and I don't have enough vocabulary. Like I'm lacking words. There are some things that have specific words in Japanese that I don't know. Yeah, reading kids books is a plan. I legally acquired some things today. Legally acquired these, which are the textbooks that I'm using in the classes. This one is a Japanese, Spanish, Korean, English textbook, but it doesn't have French, which is great. But it has a ton of things in there that basically are showcasing phrases and concept of grammar, like how things are supposed to go. Like for example, we were on this one yesterday, which is the understanding of when someone is receiving something, you use murai muraimashita. When you are given something, so someone is giving something to you, you're gonna use kuremashita, and that I can't change my device languages just yet. There is too many kanjis that I don't know, and finding that that's yeah, I'm not there yet. For example, as a French, because I am French, sadly, I learned English by, as Denny said earlier, I learned English really as a speaking language first, and then the understanding of how things are supposed to be wrote, whatever. You're supposed to write things makes sense because the alphabet is the same as French, so that's fine. And so one of my first thing when I started that, I switched my phones to English, my computer's in English, everything around me is in English, my keyboard is in the English layouts, all of that. But if I switch my phone to Japanese, I do not have the ability to read 90% of what it is inside. Like as I just said, no, as I just said, the kanjis, there is like 8,000 kanjis mostly. There There is way more than that, but like there is 8,000 that are used. There is 2,000 that are really used often, like on the daily life and all of that. That's 2,000 kanjis, which is a lot, but not that much. But yeah, drink. Thank you. Because we do, it's specifically one. So if I do two, it's one more than expected. Sometimes I do three. We never know. So yeah, speaking is gonna be easier. Like speaking Japanese is really simple and basics. Thank you. But like right now, as I said, changing my phone to Japanese is not gonna be an option. There is um uh, there's this thing that I kind of tried a long time ago, which basically changes words in sentences. But it messes with a lot of shit when you're just trying to read content online. It's some sort of an immersion technique, but it doesn't work as much as I thought it would. But it's an interesting concept anyways. That way you can have like kantan right here that I can read, and then you can click on it, you can know how it's pronounced, and then you have the translation. So that kind of makes sense. The main issue that I have with it is that it usually doesn't help. The reason why I'm saying that is because, like, learn Nihongo without even trying. Yes, but no. Nihongo in a phrase like this wouldn't be in that position. And so you are just learning the words, but you're not learning the grammar and the logic of the language. So that's why I don't really like it. Like this entire phrase would be kantan no immersion. Not immersion made kantan. That's not a thing. So yeah. I've come to feel that language learning works exactly like when kids get to learn the native language. You hear something, you repeat it, and the meaning of it also immersed in it. Yeah. So I should. No, I mean that's the thing that I talked about in the past as well. It's like when you are discussing with native Japanese teachers or native Japanese speakers that are teachers of Japanese, they lack something in understanding when and how they learn the language themselves. So if you have like an English person that has learned French and that is teaching you French, then that is better than if me as a French person is teaching you French, because there's some shit that happened when I was a kid that I don't remember. Like it's how shit happens. I was immersed in it, and so when I was asking as a kid the why question every 5 seconds, like why is the sky blue? Why is the table flat? Why is this thing rolling? All of that, I had like the sponge things of French language that just reply to all of my questions. in French, therefore I understood. But at that time, I didn't know how to write. And so it's the same thing for Japanese learning. Like right now, I think it's a bit of a bad thing that I'm learning with textbooks. I feel like this is bad for me in the way that I learn things. It would be rather better if I found, again, a Japanese girlfriend or a Japanese community in Paris that is just Japanese people that are okay with having non-Japanese people in there speaking Japanese. And if that's something that I can find, then yes, that would be pretty. It would be pretty good. Now, if you can't switch language on your devices since poor reading, then do it later on. There is nothing wrong with that. Yes, 100%. Yeah, I wish I could do that. Like my ex, which is Japanese, and we were together for 5 years, but she came to France to learn French. And so we spoke English most of the time because she had a base in English, but she didn't have a good English in the beginning. But we never spoke Japanese. So for 5 years, I kind of tried to speak Japanese here and there by text, but never speaking. And that didn't really work. So now I'm kind of sad about it because most of the Japanese that I learned was with the other girl that I saw right after that didn't really speak English, and therefore I was forced to speak Japanese with her for like 3 weeks. And now I'm pretty okay with my speaking abilities. So yeah, I do that. That happens already. Like I've started to speak to myself in Japanese when I can. When I'm thinking about something, I kind of force myself to think in Japanese first, and then if the words don't come in as they need to, I'm switching back to English. But yeah, which kind of brings on something potential, I don't know. But we may have some Japanese classes, like Duolingo types of shit on stream, potentially. I don't know if that's interesting to anyone else. I doubt it, but we never know. Because I'm like further in the process of learning. But there could be some streams where we have like the beginning of the stream, which is doing the Duolingo classes for the day, and then moving on to something different. So, better than coding, yes, 100%. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Specifically now that I can potentially do... Oh, I think if I do that, that's going to be a mess. Technically speaking, I can cut the music, turn on the display,
何年生
and then you should be able to hear what she said. Am I wrong? Am I right? Did you hear that?
何年生
Because that's pretty good for me to be able to have all that. Yes, there are plenty of accents. There is also dialects. So similarly to what you have in India, for example, or I think in in Italy, you have the same thing. Italia is the way that we say Italy in Japanese. Italia. You have multiple dialects, right? You have the older Italian language that I forgot the name, but it's not really called Italian. Then you have the specific one that you have in Sicily, and then you have the other one that is more in the north, and that is different types of languages, they share some sort of a common ancestor type of thing. When it's just yeah, they have a common base most of the time. And so for Japanese, there's the same kind of thing where in the south there is a very different language. It We used to say that there was like five Kansai different dialects, but it turns out that there is like 16 or more than that. So yeah, it's an interesting thing as well. Yeah, I don't think for you. I don't think it's a dialect. I think it's mostly like an accent or good morning. Did you take a nap? Is that what you did, Stony? Yeah, I see. I see. I see. Hmm. So yeah, that could potentially, right? I'm doing that right now.
場所
That
サムさんも明日図書館に行きますか？一緒に行きましょ
that um could be a thing that happened on stream.
何年生
It's
こち
interesting.
らはカイさんです。カイさんは私の友達です。大学生です。
The desktop version has things that I don't have on my phone, which is really good. Which would be really interesting for me to start the stream with that so that we have like some content, the same thing as we usually had with the icons. And nonetheless, I need to do my Duolingo daily, anyways. So that could be an interesting thing. You had a look at the new version of Entitled UI? Not yet, no. We were talking about a while back with config buttons. Yeah, that's interesting. That is an interesting thing.
こちらはカイさんです。カイさんは私の友達です。大学生です。
Again, right? I can understand all of that. It's pretty useful. The thing is, I don't really know what we can do or what we should do or how I could do content based on or learning Japanese on stream. Like there would be a bit of a not a misunderstanding, but like here it's a matching pairs, so I just know that this is Ichinense, which is here. So Ichinense to Ichinense, it works good. Uh, so
線卵
I,
何年
you know, yeah, no, reading specifically on Duolingo, reading is really simple. You can see also why, because that at the top, really simple to read. On my phone, I disabled that and I have the hiragana on top so that it's basically just when there is a kanji that I don't really know about. Um, it will have the hiragana on top, but most of the time it's gonna it's gonna be in kanji and shit. But it's just like there are words that I don't know. It's mostly like vocabulary and then grammar and then writing, but writing is easy.
2年生
um,
です。
mm. But yeah, it's basically that. That's the I'm gonna ask the question in a second.
2年生、1年生、9時間、何年生、
It's just that I didn't. It's technically in there, and I didn't want to click on that. But yeah. It is. It is. As I just said, right? This is a kanji, so this is the representation of that word that is pronounced watashi, which means me or I, and so it's just in there in hiragana on top, and then here it's like ichinense. So that's pretty good. And then here, same thing. Like right now, I have on hover, I have a bit of a preview of what it's supposed to be. So that way I have like a bit of a translation if I don't know. When I reach the end of the block, whatever, I forgot how it's called, there is a test that doesn't have the hover effects. So that's pretty good.
1年生です。ケンさんは
And this one, for example, I think they don't have sound.
はい、3。はじめまして。
I think you're not gonna make it, Larkin. Yep. Apparently you didn't make it when I said that. My son.
3、3。
Mm-hmm.
何年生ですか？
I think that's a mistake. I think I need a wa in the middle. But I have a feeling that if I do that, yeah. Good.
3、3。 今は何年ですか？
Yes. I forgot the now. I forgot the now. Good job on landing. So that's the thing that I'm thinking about that could be pretty useful for me, pretty interesting maybe for you if you are learning Japanese as well. But as you can see, I've been on that for a bit. um, with a perfect streak, so didn't miss a day for a bit. And I'm deep down in that entire thing. I also have like section 2 prior to this. So I've done 2 sections plus this one, which is the third, which is the second section. I'm reaching the end of it. I'm also in gold for everything, so I'm making sure that I'm getting the entirety of not the points, but like the level that is understood at 100%. So yeah, then that's a thing. And no, it's not really an addiction. It's just like it's practice, just learning. So it's been a bit, and we might start doing these. Maybe we do like one unit per day per stream, because that's in between 5 lessons and 3 lessons, so that takes at best an hour. It could take more if I go over the explanation of how and why things are the way that they are, which could be really interesting for me and for you, as in if I can explain that this thing is written this way, or this has this particle in the middle, or this has something else in the middle, because of reasons and other things, then yeah, that could be interesting. So, Sub-Zero, hi. No, I'm currently on Anki as well, which is pretty okay. It's not my favorite, like, option, but it works. So it will, right now, Enki is basically cards, so it just gives you that. This is hiragana. I can't zoom in, which is kind of sad. I wish I could do that with my keyboard and not with this. Anyways, and so the way that it works is that this is a card, this is Naka, so I'm expected to remember that Naka is a very specific kanji, which is the one that I was showing earlier, which is which I'm not gonna find easily, obviously. This one, right? So they are expecting me to remember that this kanji, this Naka thing in hiragana is this, and that that's the one. I get it. It was easy, and then I moved to something different. And this is Kawa. So Kawa, what it is? Kawa is river. River is easy. I know that. Okasa-san, this is mom. I know that. Same thing. And so I can move on and do all these things. So that's another way for me to learn. This one is mostly, this deck right here is mostly kanji. This deck right here is different. This deck is anime. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that. It's basically anime snippet of phrases and things, and I have the audio, and so I can have some listening practices, but it's not the best things for me. I don't like them. I might just get rid of them. These ones are better because they have different kanjis in there for now. So I'm using that as well. I'm also using the textbooks that I was talking about, and I'm also using this thing called YouTube. No, YouTube. I mean YouTube, but also like Spotify. Spotify has this guy, which I love, which is Nihongo podcast, which basically is a Japanese podcast. That person is just every week or every 2 days, I forgot, has like a bit of a 40 minutes to an hour discussion with themselves, and it's pretty, I mean, these ones are like 13, 17 minutes. It's just he's alone on the mic, pretty good. And the thing that is fun is like the last one that I was listening to today, he said something that I learned in my last classes yesterday. So that's a fun thing to happen. And I was like, oh, I recognized the sentence, the grammar sentence that I just learned, which I didn't know like a month ago. So yeah. Do you find the tidy feature of Arc a good feature? Yes. And no. Half yes. I think the tidy feature is pretty good because it removes the thing that I'm not really thinking about, but it also removes things that I just kept for the next day. sometimes, and so it often happen where I need to move things into my saved tabs just above the current for the day to keep them and have them for the next day, and then I need to move them back down. So that's a bit annoying, but it also forces me to just know what I really want to keep. And most of the time when I come back in the morning, either I have the one that I played with just before I ended stream, or I have nothing and it's cleaned up, and if I don't remember what I was looking at, then it wasn't that important. That's kind of my take. That is kind of my take for this. So, yeah. I'm gonna pee, and Stony, after that, I'm gonna have a question for you. 1 second. I'm thinking about it, Flap. I also use another app called Boompo, and it was interesting, but there is too much text. It's a pretty simple app, so you have like all the thing that you need to do. I'm currently in this one, for example, and then you have your lessons, all of that, and then in the lessons you have like the cards of explaining the concept that you are currently about to learn. And then when you're done with that, which, as I just said, it's way too much text, you arrive on that gives you like, what the fuck is that? And then you need to transform that verb into that form, and you need to type that here using your keyboard. So that's pretty interesting, but because I didn't read shit and I don't know grammar, it's kind of bad. But it has all of the levels, and I think I paid for the lifetime subscription, or non-subscription, like lifetime payment, just because it was available. So maybe I can use that, but that's about it. I'm also using I'm testing any fucking apps that I can find. But what works best for me is going to be chatting with someone. So my professor said you should look up meetups, like the Meetup app, for example, the red one. They have Japan French meetup in Paris, so I could go there. The thing that pisses me off is that there will be French there as well, and when there are French with French people, for some reason they speak French, even if it's Japan meetup, when you're supposed to speak Japanese. So that I'm kind of reluctant in going there. Anyways. It's a fact. It's a sad fact, but it's a fact. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Lise, do you have more question about the portfolio? I think I gave you most of the things on your end. If you're still looking. I don't know. I need to read more docs. Found this to solve the whole loading spinner things. One go. Cool. I just closed it. So it went away. I mean, I didn't do shit. I just moved stuff up. So yeah, that's just the thing that you had here. Moved it here. I like your contact me at the bottom. It's big enough. I like that. Yeah, taking a screenshot could be good as well. Anywho, overall pretty good. Oh, you did the you did some changes here. That's pretty. Yeah, that's basically yeah. You did good. The main thing here for me would be to have the 6 projects directly rather than just 4. I know it can be much, but it would help to have, or technically to not have to build a new page on top of everything. And then I think for the about me, I think the main issue is the amount of content, right? Like the amount of text that you have might be a bit too much. So maybe you can rephrase that into something that is shorter, if that's an option. And or I also have a feeling that that block is basically it already. Like, you have more details in the about me for sure, but that block is basically it. So, to be checked. Isn't that what we shared? Right there, Lenny. About 3 days ago. You're not following up with the Discord, I see. I see. I know I don't share enough links. I do share some of them, but yeah. No, this page is pretty good overall. I do like it. The thing that saddens me is that I do like that as well. I like that section a lot because it's minimalistic and it's subtle and it's not in your face and all of that. So I could potentially see that in another section, as in maybe another section, another page. Maybe that like could be, instead of project, could be other projects and be at the end of a case study project presentation. So at the bottom you would have access to other project, and then you have the list of 3 of the nice projects that are kind of linked to it, or 3 random other projects. So that way you keep that block, which is really good, and it's still used somewhere else. Could be an option to not lose it out. Gonna check that though. Stoney, just to prepare you, I'm gonna have a discussion with you now, soon, about the mobile app. And my point is, mobile doesn't need to have everything from the web. Just simmer with that, and you tell me how you think. But for me, mobile doesn't need to have everything from the web. We'll see what we can do with that. And you shortened the entire thing, which is what I was about to talk about potentially. So that's good. And I had a question about the fucking LinkedIn being offsetted, like underneath. It pisses me off. I don't think I gave you like a comment on the LinkedIn thing, but I don't get it. I don't understand why you have LinkedIn right here. But yeah. Good. Cool. For me, mobile is going to be consuming only and not managing. So even if you're an admin, you don't have access to the admin sections, or most of it. And see, even looking at your website in black and white could be a really, really good thing. If the hover bring down the colors, could be fun. Anyways, that I like the shorten here, and maybe having the projects there. And then if you have your 6 project on the home page, for now that's going to be enough. Therefore, you don't need the project page. Or if you really want to have the project page, then yeah. It's just black and whiting you. I don't think it needs a bento grid. We already have some sort of a bento grid here. Technically, it's not really a bento grid, but it's kind of a bento grid. Right? Kinda. It's a deconstructed grid. It's technically just an offsetted grid. That's it. I don't think you need it. I also don't think you need to have your 4 email here. And I also don't think that Institut Scolaire solacro.com is a really good email address. I think it should be a button, as in God damn it, not this one. As in that is a mail too. I mean, it used to be a mail too, but it's basically a button, and you can have just a contact me right here that send an email or create a new email to that. So that would be easier. And then LinkedIn, I don't know if it's useful and or necessary to have it, but I would still make it at the same level of the header things. So that just next to this potentially. And then, as I said, these needs to have way more space in between. Right now you have, I don't know how much in between them, 13. Interesting. I think they need like 24 or 30 points in between so that they split enough. Right now it looks as if it's just a double spaced, but that's it. So for me, they need like to be spread apart. Yeah, I don't like it. No, it does look good, but it's just weird. It comes off. Yeah, I know that, but it comes off wrong based on current patterns. Nah. I mean, if it works for you, I'm not gonna. If you like it, then you want to do that. At the end of the day, it's your website. I think it works better. I'm far away. I think it works better here, for me, because it's in a position that makes sense, compared to here, where it's in a position that is not center in the page, is center in the header because of that text right here, but doesn't really mean anything. So if you had swapped that header with, like, let's say, I don't even know if that's a component. It is. God damn it. But this is going here, and this is going there. If you had done that, it bothers me less. Which it bothers me less. Because that way I kind of understand that this is, okay, this is your name, even though it has like a bit of a, duplicate feeling, like name here, and debatable. Like this is a logo placement, this is a link, this is a link, and these are links, therefore I understand, it kind of makes sense. Still, would probably say something along the line of that or that, but like more than space. I haven't looked at reworked new website. I don't think I have. Send a link. Nanny, please. Yes. Yeah, I think that would be good. The thing is, if you have that, it's kind of weird to have like a move of these two on scroll. I feel like on scroll would be great, but it could if it did that, maybe. for ease of implementation, just having that. I don't know how you could. I mean, this is gonna be easier to do in dev than it's gonna be easy. This is gonna be easier to do in dev than in Figma. Yes, because it's a logo type thing. It had a bit of a structure, and then it doesn't really take away options for logo, but it's the style of the website. Therefore, it's easier to have like a brutalistic logo as well, which is basically just the name. That makes sense to me. Damn. That's too much. Oh, you can. You can do something fun with the logo of name. Actually, that's a pretty good option, to be honest. But if you don't have two buttons, you just have one. If we remove LinkedIn and LinkedIn goes into contact me, it's the same thing. So well, Aka's home apropos is about me and projects. So these are secondary pages. These are outgoing links, and these are ingoing links. So they stay in the website. Basically, this one is going here. This one's going to another things. This one is the home page. So there. These are just links. The wavy one. Debatable. But that's the choice for Pixelese to make. Isn't that the wasn't that Ogre's websites? I feel like I remember specifically that button, that thing right here. Either I've seen it before or James. um, Interesting. I really don't remember the name. But that. That's a mesh gradient. And that's a blurry mesh gradient. So if you want to dev that, code that, you can follow that tutorial, which is pretty good. Overall, I followed it the first time and it works. And I know you can't see it, but basically the bottom background thing that we have here is using that mesh gradient underneath. So there is really, really subtle movement here and there, and you can sometimes see it if I go into light mode, but it's mostly in the corner right there, where you can see like the difference in colors and all that. But yeah, it's using this same exact gradient nodes. And you can download it if you wanted to. So it's an option. It's pretty good. It works. I feel like, Denny, this is way too much stuff happening for me. Like, I don't know how much, how little, how performance-wise this is impacting the user. Sassy, hi, welcome back. How are you? How is everything? Things have happened. This is a waste of. To me, this is a waste of resources. Like, I get it. It's what we need today to stand out. But why? I don't know. It looks cool. I'm not gonna deny that. It looks cool. It's interesting. It's fun and all that. But it's just performance-wise for your computer. I can hear my fan going. That's not good. There's a ton of things that are just fun interactions. Yes, I get it, but also no. Like, me being me and me seeing this, right? Because, you know, it's me. I see things. Like you have a pixel and a half, technically a half pixel right here, but you have a half pixel at the top and you have a pixel and a half at the bottom. So technically you have a pixel of misalignment in your text. This is based on the font, but taking the amount of time that it took to create that button, centering the text would have been nothing. Like it's just one pixel. So instead of having like a uniform top and bottom spacing for that specific button that is extremely specific, you just make an uneven one and that would be much better. But again, that's a me thing. I can see that. Most people can't. Like someone that is using that service is not gonna notice that. It's just like the details makes no fucking sense. Like this one is aligned. Why not this one? Anywho. Like, yeah. I don't know. I see that is sad. I see that. Noxie, hi. Welcome on in. How are you? How have you been? Welcome back. You've been here. When was the last time you've been here? I was about 7 months ago. Almost a year ago. Yeah. How is you? Yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while. I appreciate that. Yes, Denny, it is because of the stage you are on. I'm not, so the thing is not that I'm tired of it, it's just that I see the other things that I feel like the resources that was used to achieve such like animations, interactions and all that, which are really cool, don't get me wrong, could have been allocated into something else on the website that would make it more efficient, cleaner, aligned, all that. I'm doing fine. I think since last time that you was here and chatting, I don't know when you rejoined and lurking, but I came back from Japan, still don't have a job, it's been almost a year, technically, yeah, god damn, and yeah, just got a negative answer from a company because I was sharing a CV, a resume that wasn't a designer resume, because it's an ATS friendly resume, and I looked too confident in my ability to do my job. So they said no. That's the news. The second section, stating the problem. Yes. Yeah. No, the thing that I don't understand personally is that a resume is just a paper to showcase data about yourself, which is called LinkedIn. And so the goal is just to have that data. And then that guy just got stuck on the fact that my resume is an ATS friendly resume, which I didn't really showcase that earlier, but I kind of did. Like that's what they received, which is ATS friendly. They also had like my portfolio, my Figma files, my case studies in links that that guy has seen, but got stuck on the fact that this is not a designer resume because it's a Google Doc format. And for his brain, it was like, not the designer. I don't know. So, yeah. And then I shared my designer resume with them, but this is not ATS friendly at all. You can't, like, it doesn't pass through anything. It's just a mess. So, just in case. Anywho. And the thing that is really sad is that this guy said the thing. I have like a platform that is called Resume Awarded that I use. Basically, what they do is you need to create a fucking account, which is annoying. I know. I'm sorry. But you click on the get started, you get your account, you send your resume in, and then it gives you something as a check. It gives you this. You have your resume on PDF or whatever on the side, and it gives you like a bit of an overall, how can I say that, score grading of what is the content and all of that, which is, yeah, scoring, thank you, which is pretty good overall. And it has like specific sections. Is it like impactful, what is inside, all of that. In the free version, when you don't pay, you don't have access to much of the inner content, but you have the scoring, and you can re-upload your resume for recheck as many times as you want. So there is no real limitation. It's just that you don't have access to the recommendation that they have. And so, for example, my first resume, the first time I sent it, I was at 22, right there. And then when I did all of the modifications, I am now at 89 or 92 something. I think the latest one is like 60 now. The designer resume is like at 60. The non-designer resume is at 80 or something. So yeah, that's just a helpful tool to just check. But it's paid, which is sad. And it's not that expensive, but it is a bit expensive. It is a subscription model that is recurring subscription, so it's not like you pay for 1 month and then you forget about it. It's like you pay for 1 month and you unsubscribe immediately, which is pretty good. But when you pay for it, you also have access to other things like this, like the LinkedIn optimization, which is pretty good, which helps you to basically do the same thing that you did on your resume, but on LinkedIn, so that if you apply for things on LinkedIn, that also is an option. And I do like that as a concept, but also it's paid. One of the reasons that they have for providing a quarterly, like 3 to 4 months, quarterly is 3 months, 3 months option of the subscription, you just pay for 3 months and that's it. is because they say that the usual job seeking period is like 3 months, and you need to adapt your resume for each job that you're applying for to ensure that you have like the best chances. So with their system and the fact that they expect you to not be a designer and have like a Word doc type of resume that you are sending, editing it is going to be easier than if you are in a designer environment and you need to have like a structure and a layout and spacing and all that. Other than that, it's pretty good. But that's how I check. And yes, Sassy, 100%. I basically dodged the bullet in a way, which I felt like it was the thing. But yeah, for me, the one that just kills me is the seems too confident in his ability to do his job. Like, it's just, I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. It's just, my brain doesn't compute. Like, what it says is just, oh, you don't want competent people in your teams. You want to achieve greatness, but you don't want competent people in your teams. And I'm like, what? Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's more. There is a tiny one right there, but you can't really see it. He's far away. He's far away. You want more of me? It was a woman. That's the thing. Let's see. And yes, she was ego-driven for sure, because she wants to find and discover all the molecules available on planet Earth and in the universe, and discover the meaning of life. That's the goal. All that. Yeah, it's also a translation from French to English. But yes. It was specifically the most frustrating things is it's been 6 fucking interviews with this company in total. Like 4 that went really well and 2 at the end that just fucked the entire thing. From what they are telling me. So, we never know. Anyways, you want to try to do that, Denny? That's what you said? Like that thing with the hover space? Yeah. I mean, I've seen that often. I do like the way that this things popped in when you scroll in. It's pretty nice. Because it's not like it's staggered. So it makes sense. Then you have the solutions and the options and the things. Yeah. I mean, yes, it is storytelling at the end of the day, so do that. Do learn storytelling, for sure. For sure. But yeah, other than that, that's what happened. Yeah, nah. the right way to go would be okay. You think you can do this? Show me what you can really do. Replying to what? This, Denny? Is it still on the other website, or is it on the interview thing? Oh yeah, no, yeah, no, I agree with that. Again, from what I said many times now, for me, it's mostly you're in France. You have the whole structure of safety for the employees and the employers, and you have the probation period, and you can 100% hire someone for 2 months and just fire them for no fucking reason after 2 months or 3 months, just because the fit wasn't good. And it doesn't really cost you anything other than the time to potentially train that person. And if you have someone like me that comes in the interview and you have a feeling that I already have a solution in mind and I know exactly what we need to do to move on forward and succeed in the the direction in which you wanted your company to go, from what I understood from the interviews, I will 100% just check. You have your ID, cool. Let's move on for a month, and then if it's good and you're a good team fit, then you're gonna stay. But if it's not good and you're not a good team fit, then you're gonna fuck out. And that's, I mean, it makes sense. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. We have so much job security and other things in France that just give us the ability to do that. How long is your website live? Mine? It's always live. Roxy, or which one were you talking about? Which website? This one? When I make it last year, ADHD Studio is since May 2023. Technically July, but yeah, it's a year old. That's it. It's nice, but I don't like it much. Not anymore. It does the job. It's just lacking. Yes. And that's on purpose. I may have forgotten one word, though. But yeah. It's just a mix and match of other websites that I like. So the copyright thing at the end, first of all, in order to copyright something, you need to apply for copyright, which I haven't. So this is bullshit. That's the first thing. And then 2014 is the launch of my freelance company. So it is basically copyrighted since 2014. So that's why. If I just do a since, if I add the word since, it should be like established basically. But it's basically saying it's copyrighted since 2014. So anything that came out from this thing since 2014 has been copyrighted by default. Whereas if you have a copyright with the years and date of today, it basically implies that everything that came before hasn't or isn't anymore. So if you go into the Wayback Machine and you check the content of the website that is different, and you pick it up because it's not copyrighted anymore based on where you are picking it from, because it's only copyrighted from that year, not further before, not further after. So I'm just forgetting one word right here. But yeah, that's the idea. Also, it is based on it's based on a template. Because for some legal reason in some legal states, aka the US, they need to. But yeah, that's about it. The reason is just if the year is not the current year, then you can't enforce anything because it's the opposite of what I just said. But if I have the since, like copyrighted since 2014, which I forgot, then I'm kind of covered. But it's a semantic situation, which makes no sense. So let's see. Sterling, I need you. I need you. I reused, or not reused, but I took what we have on the make design feature earlier. And yeah. I think we need to have a bit of a discussion about that. Also, the renders from far away are really good. But yeah, other than that, I do much prefer my personal website, Nox, because it has more personality overall than the other one. It has things that just are more fun than a regular website. Like teeny tiny shines here and there and all that. And then you have my resume here. That basically I have way too much links everywhere. But yeah, this one is fun. More fun. Have a good rest of your night, Danny. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon. And try no coffee tomorrow. Yeah, I could use the mobile responsive to have a reference though. My question is, the reason why I took that here and I kind of kept it is because I just wanted to keep the carousel type of situation that we have. Norton, hi. Morton, hi. It's not me. I know it's not me. Is it you? Maybe it's not you either. It's you? Good job. Good job. Congrats. Yeah. I don't doubt that, Sturdy. I don't doubt that. That's for sure. I can't formulate a fucking sentence. Anyways, the base thing that I'm thinking is home, library, music are gonna be here, and then I need something for the last one, and I don't know exactly if I want to have the notification or the search. The main reason for having the search here is because it's thumb reach. It's a bit in the area that we don't like, because it's just bad. But which one you want? App, dash, dev, app dot. Shit. Yeah. So, can I do 100%? Is it like tight? It's kind of tight though. Anyways, the reasoning for me to have, like, as I said, the search at the bottom is because it's going to be easier for someone to tap with their fingers at the center of the sidebar, the tab bar, instead of reaching at the top. So that was my thinking. But the general thing, right, is like that section is kind of hard, so that's why we usually have the search in the center of that screen. So based on that, I'm debating where to put the fucking search, because I don't want to put it at the top, which is what you already have done. I don't know. And we could have, for me, the profile is not necessary to have in the tab bar. That probably could be at the top. So reversed, inverting this and this could be an option. Or having 5 tabs and a search that is more central. But I do like the search in that position from what they have done, because it is thumb reached for like right-handed people, which is also a thing that I'm thinking about, right? Right-handed, left-handed people, if you want to reach or have both, then you put the search in the center, therefore you ensure that they both have access to everything if they use their phone with different hands. But yeah, the rest is basically what I had in mind. Technically speaking, you don't need that. These are touch carousel, so people kind of know that they can swipe horizontally. You don't need a button that says scroll more. That could help to limit stuff. If we move search, profile could go back up. Yes. All right. The second option is to have the notification in the bottom bar as well. So getting these two buttons to be in there and moving the profile back up could be a thing. It depends on you. It depends on a lot of things. Like that's, I don't know. And so with that, I think I'm gonna need to open that on my phone rather than on the preview of my phone, which is sad. I don't know if I have. That's what I'm thinking about. You probably don't. Much better. I wish I moved to macOS Sequoia so that I could show you what I'm seeing on my phone rather than this. What? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. 1 second. Maybe I can do that.
Catex Soho just resubscribed for 23 months. I had a
I see.
breakdown, now I am here.
Good. I saw that you sent me like a voice message, and obviously I couldn't listen to that. Sorry. I hope the breakdown went well. I hope you're good. I just bought an iPad, though I made the financial decision to not buy an iPad Pro from this year. I bought an iPad Pro from last year. So instead of 1,400, I just spent 1,000. But I have the iPad, the case, the pen, everything. Smart thinking, yeah. Yeah. I shouldn't. I should have just went for the latest. But now that it's a 2022 model, if I just go in the Apple Store and I make an exchange, I should be good. Okay, let me see. Can I do that? It's gonna be kind of weird. Is it gonna be a screen capture? Maybe. Sorry for that. Not that. You saw nothing. Is it gonna be a video capture? I doubt it. Yeah. Okay. That's not a thing. Good. And then the last option. Why is that not a thing? You may have lost some things, as in audio or others. Whatever. It's fine. I kind of wanted to have like a bit of a preview of my phone here, that you can see what I didn't see, but I can't give you that preview, which is sad. Anyways, that doesn't make any difference what I'm seeing. And now, Sony, you have resetted. Good. So your carousel on mobile as a native mobile carousel is kind of shit. Sorry about that. But it is kind of shit. The scroll is also kind of weird because they have the ability to do that as a whole page scroll. That's interesting. Like, yeah. I think I know why, but it's kind of sad. Anyways, that's a thing. The carousel are staggered, but much laggy feel overall. The thing that I'm gonna say now is more technical than visual, so it's more something that you need to put in place rather than me needing to do something about it. I will need to build something for you for it, but anyways, carousels on mobile are kind of better if we can limit them to a very specific amount. So usually we don't pass 10 items in a carousel on mobile. So what I would recommend you is going to be a max item of 9. I know your max is 36, which is a dumbass move, because I'm looking for a movie, I'm scrolling actions, I'm seeing one that is pretty interesting, but I'm not sure, and then I continue scrolling and I see more stuff, and then at the end I'm like, okay, cool, so I just want the first one, so I need to scroll back the 36, which is a fucking annoying thing to do. So what you want to do is have it max 8 or 9 items, and the 10th one is a cover poster type of thing that is a button that says view all, so that you know that you just need, if you know you want to go in the action section, just go to the end, click on view more. I could argue potentially that you could have at the top next to kids on the other side, like see all as a button on the opposite side, and then at the end that would give you the ability to get like 15 items inside, because the action button to go into the in-depth page is gonna be reached faster. But yeah, I don't know. That's a you issue. Nothing loads. I have one image. I got one. One. Good job. I got two. I got two. Your logo is not there. Yes, that is a fact. You did the menu mode. Yeah, that's an option. I'm seeing things like this. I know you're working on it. I'm teasing you, but goddamn, what the fuck? I see. Yeah. I mean, I could argue that nothing has received love anymore since all that. Chipoolix, hi, welcome in. No, it's not. I don't think design is an industry anymore. I think, technically speaking, it's mostly gonna be a reconversion for most of the senior designers, and then the entry-level designers are gonna just struggle. So I really think that people that have the ability to market themselves and package themselves properly are gonna do what I wanted to do 5 years ago, which is transition from designing to consulting for designing firms or for firms that needs design. So yeah, I think it's Japanese. I think it's gonna be that. It's gonna be like VC people and managers and all of that. It's gonna use the make design features of AIs and other platforms, and then it's gonna be so shit and so the same as everyone else that they are gonna need to hire a consultant. It's gonna tell them what the fuck they need to do, and that's probably gonna happen. So yeah. I think it's more gonna transform into a consulting firm industry type of thing. Let me try something sturdy. Yeah. Still shit, but yeah. There's a ton of things that just don't work. It's really interesting. Like you can't really see that. Or I can't really show you that, sadly. I don't think on the desktop version here, it's fine. It works, it's okay. But on the mobile version, can I zoom in? Can't really zoom in, that's interesting. I did zoom in for a second. You might be able to see that, I doubt it, but the headers of the posters are like, they have a bit of an offsetted thing on mobile. But it's really weird. Like right here. it has this thing where your corner radius is good, but it also has this offset for some reason. And I don't understand why. It doesn't do it at the bottom. Like the bottom is fine, but not the top. So that's weird. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's an Apple thing, I don't know. But it's still weird. Doesn't change the facts. Doesn't change the fact. Nonetheless, it works. Changing the search at the bottom is much better. Libraries is where it's supposed to be. Home is where it's supposed to be, so that's good. Notification profile at the top are good. Library that brings up the side. The sidebar for quick navigation, and also the top menu. Pretty good. I can give you more ads if you want. Targeted ads just for Noxy. Just for you. That's good. I personally don't like the background. Like here, I don't like that. I think you could have the same color for everything, Stone. Like almost as if it was transparent. Because it's not like the delimitation in between the two is not necessary on that specific page. Why can't you just overflow hidden and be good with it? I mean, doesn't that works? I'm not a dev anymore. Anyways. Yeah, no, you do. I agree. Oh, I hope it works on desktop. No, it doesn't. Shit. For fuck's sake. God damn. Okay. I'm gonna screenshot. It's gonna be easier. So, when you scroll on artist, because your thumb or your finger is physically on top of an album artist image, it considers it as a hover effect, and you haven't disabled the hover effect, so it grows into the size at which it used to be on desktop. Though I hovered this one, not this one, but I hovered this one, not this one, so we have like some overlapping shit. And it's kind of funny. And if I continue kind of If I continue tapping, I'm getting this. Isn't this cute? Isn't this cute? Look at that. Let me see if I can just do a screen recording, because that's gonna be easier for you to manage and understand. Just like that. Like just like that. It's pretty nice. I mean, oh, for fuck's sake. Oh. I mean, it makes sense. It's a hover state. It's basically what it is. 1 second. Because right now you're blaming Apple for this. I'm gonna go on the other side, and we're gonna check on our friends on Android. See if that's a thing. I'm not sure I can log in though on this one. Gotta check that. I can. Got it. Impressed. I need to select the server. And so on Android, I'm getting a purple bar at the top that I don't have on iPhone. But I get the logo, which is good. Performance-wise, this is shit. It's nice. I'm getting the notification at the top that says install, or it was there a second ago. That says install, which is pretty good. Now that everything has loaded, its performance was better, so I like that. Let me see on music how I can break the thing. Yeah. Yeah. So it works better on Android than on iPhone. There is a rendering that doesn't work on, like, it's not resampled. And you have the other states and the other effects that we have defined on desktop, so it's pretty good. Works better on Android. Agree with that. Agree with that. Good job. Can't deny that. I guess the only thing that I don't really like about the design that you have done is the placement of the hamburger menu at the top left, which is pushing the logo in its placement, which is basically what I said in the first desktop app. I don't know if you remember that. But yeah, it was a weird placement, and you did the same on this one, which is also interesting. But yeah, it does work on Android. I do like that. Loads faster as well. Yeah. It's either gonna be here or on the other side. The thing that I'm saying is not. You're not gonna like that. But the thing that I'm saying is not the placement is weird. The thing that I'm saying is that the relationship with the placement is weird. So I would rather get rid of the logo than have the logo next to the hamburger menu, or get rid of the hamburger menu altogether to keep the logo there. But then I don't know where the hamburger menu needs to go or can go. Can is more appropriate on this one. It's taking ages to do anything. It needs to load everything, and now that it has the image, I can now scroll. But before that, I couldn't really scroll. That's an interesting thing. I don't know if it's my internet that is shit. Blame that on me. That's an option, as always. But you know. Blame. Interesting. Interesting behavior. So far, home, library, music, artist, albums, is good, design-wise, from what you have done. That's good. What is messed up for now, so what I need to focus on first, is gonna be the media page. This is shit. Called. This is bad. Look at that. Look at that misalignment right there. Look at that. What the fuck is that? So, need to focus on that mobile version, which you already have a mobile version done, which is the first mobile version that I gave you. But yeah, you know, the first thing that I sent you 2 years ago, that thing right there, that hasn't moved since then. I haven't changed anything, and I think that's okay. It's not good, but it's okay. And we do have, I think, did I do that? I think I got rid of him. I think I got rid of them. I didn't. You do have mobile version as well. Which we haven't defined, but you have extra mobile tablets in between. So, yeah. That's pretty good. I need to check the album. The album page is great because you have Spotify in front of you, so you have nothing to say. Bit of a colorful thing. The artist thing is the same, which is fine. The sticky player is good. The teeny tiny sticky player at the bottom, I like that. I mean, teeny tiny. It works. Cool. Cool. Playlist is the last one, maybe? Oh, and now if I'm clicking on music, I'm getting libraries. I see. Good job. You see? I mean, I don't even know if you see. You see this? Bitch. You see these? Playlist. Right? If I long press, I have the effect. It's pretty cool. Subtle effect on the top. Not necessary, but it's there. And then the page is the same, so you should be good. Overall. Overall, pretty good. Maybe. Maybe it could go down. It's just it's extending the back. The overflow doesn't work on, or technically it's not doesn't work. The overflow doesn't happen on Android. So you're kind of good. Interesting. Well, I don't have overflow on my side. Or at least I didn't on that phone. So maybe my screen width is better than my iPhone screen width, but I doubt it. Oh, I doubt it. Oh shit. So technically, yeah, no, we have everything we need. I think you're good. I think you're overall good. I think the design is pretty fine, and it's just the how's it called? God damn, I'm tired. It's just the media page that needs to have like a bit of a checkup. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Alright. I am gonna send you to Nerdy. It's been a while. But because I'm tired. I'm dying. All day. Anywho, thanks a lot for being here. As always, I click the button. Enjoy the rest of your day. The VOD is gonna be on YouTube for no fucking reason. You can ask me questions on Discord if I'm not live. That's an option, which, as we said, I'm live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for now. So I should be back on Monday, if all goes well. And if you want to stalk me online, you can just check the socials. And yeah, all of that was said many times. Also, Stony, the powered USB hub didn't fix the mic issues. Anyways, you can give me money if you want me to do that, and buy you like it, you know, all that. The classic. Anywho, enjoy the rest of your day. That's the thing. Who won? Who won? Denny? Denny won. Good job. Good job, Denny. Take care of yourself. Enjoy Nutty's building a keyboard, which is chill-ish. Different types of vibes. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Eat something, drink something, be kind to each other. Bye.